Ladies and gentlemen of the Iced Earth community, welcome to Disciples of the 10, the only top 10 show 100% dedicated to iced motherfucking Earth. Today is a controversial one indeed.
Very, very controversial.
Top 10 reasons why you should be excited about the re-recordings that the band will be doing in the future. Let's kick this off.
These are top 10 reasons why we're excited.
Yeah, but
everybody's got their own opinion. We're just giving ours.
But I think it's reasons why they should be excited as well, because I feel that it's just why can't you be like? But anyway,
right.
I'll let you kick off track number 5. What's your number 5 reason?
Here's my number 5. Days of Purgatory. When I first started listening to Iced Earth, it was Something Wicked. So all I knew was Matt. I listened to these albums. I listened to Dark Saga first, then I listened to Something Wicked, and then I listened to this. So if they re-record, let's say if they redo, let's just say Storm Rider is the first one that they do, because they haven't announced it. Let's say they're going to do Storm Rider. There are so many new fans out there. I talked to so many people on the Incorruptible tour that was introduced to the band in the Stu Block era. And it's almost the same thing I went through. So they're reintroduced to that old catalog, but Stu is the singer to them. So for them to redo, a classic album with Stu, it's going to, that the new fans are really going to appreciate it and bring even more so. So this album is actually very, very special to me because I love Night of the Storm Rider. It's my absolute favorite album of all time. And I love that I've got versions of Matt Barlow singing them also. It doesn't take away from the original. I love the original with John Greeley, but I also love having a second option. So that's my number 5 of why I'm excited about the re-recordings.
My number 5 is modern production job. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the original 3 albums in particular sound crap, because they don't. I think they sound obviously products of their time, and they are what the budgets are is what you'll get basically. John explained that the first album was like a $5,000 recording. Second album was like maybe a bit more, maybe like $8,000, and Burnt Offerings was like $15,000. Now, with John having his own studio, Independence Hall, and just getting the guys together, budget is not an issue, which means these re-recordings are going to sound fucking awesome. Imagine the first album with the Incorruptible production job. Imagine Night of the Storm Rider with the Incorruptible production job. They're going to sound huge. And I'm a production snob, so I'm looking forward to hearing these albums sounding modern, up to date, and yeah, I just think they're just going to sound massive with a modern production job of what you can do today.
And they're not going to be as rushed. That first album, I've heard that Gene was rushed so much. We've got such little time. So imagine, if they're not rushed, like you said, I think it's going to sound awesome. So good number 5.
And it's stuff they're already playing live, so it's not like they have to relearn a lot of it anyway. So I think I think modern production is a big deal for me anyway, and I think that's a reason why you should be excited, because I feel that a new production for those older albums and bringing them up to date will really bring new life into those first 3 albums. Anyway, number 4 track. What is your number 4?
My number 4, I'm just using this as a Stu Block. Stu Block is already proven that he has done wonders on some of these old songs. I love his versions of When the Night Falls on here, Pure Evil. I love Damien. This is actually my favorite version of Damien. So Stu Block has just an awesome range on both current and old. So I'm excited to hear his take on old stuff. So Stu Block has nailed 100% everything that he is saying. I've never heard, other than just the quality of stuff on YouTube, saying, well, that sounds, quality is not good, but his vocals on it are amazing. So I can't wait to hear him tackle more of the catalog, studio. I mean, if we love him on just a off one-time live show, what's he going to do if he's got 4 or 5 takes? Come on. Stu Block's awesome. So that's my number 4.
My number 4 is solely based. It's going to be more Iced Earth, and I don't know about you, but if you're a fan of the band, how can you not want more Iced Earth? Like, that's the thing. Like, now the band has gone independent, and they're basically, they are in charge of their own destiny, as Stu Block liked to say when we spoke to him. Like, I know it's re-recordings of the early albums with a different lineup, which pisses a lot of people off, but I just think we're getting more of what we love. We're getting more of the band, and I just think that's amazing, And like your point when you brought up Curion, yeah, I didn't see anybody complaining that it was a different lineup playing those songs on that. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, more Iced Earth, yes please. I would love more. I would love more Iced Earth over. I want this more than the Demons and Wizards. I couldn't care less about Demons and Wizards, to be honest. Like, I want more Iced Earth. They're my favourite band, and John's going to be doing more stuff. Like, even if it is this, oh yeah, it's more Iced Earth. It's more physical product that I can collect. Yes, please. Vinyl, please. Yes, all day long. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
it's just more of
Yes.
what I love, and that's why I'm excited as well. So yeah, number 4 for me, more Iced Earth. Yes, please, take my money.
That's funny that you say that, because my number 3, I wrote as collection. I want more. Do I have 7 different copies of Night of the Storm Rider? The answer is yes. Do I want another? Do I want 2 more? Do I want a new 2019 Night of the Storm Rider with a different cover on vinyl and blue and green and red? Yes, I want all that. I like to collect their stuff, so I want more. My number 3 is more. Take my money. I want more. That's my number 3.
Well said, sir. Well said. My number 3 is basically supporting the band. You want the band to survive? This is what they have to do to survive. Century Media, or Sony, because Sony now owns Century Media. Sony/Century Media are never, remember that's a key word, never going to give John his masters for that 30 years of back catalogue. They're never going to do it.
And they're not picking on John. They don't give anybody. They don't. They like John said in our interview. They don't buy. They didn't buy Century Media to give shit away.
Exactly. So, it's one of those things where it's just like, you want more Iced Earth. I know that was my previous point, but if you want more Iced Earth, if you want more music from Iced Earth, this is what they have to do to ensure their survival, to ensure that John can eat, that that the rest of the band members that he has under his wing, Jake, Luke, Brent, all those guys, Stu, all those guys, this is what they have to do to make sure that they can live a life, for one, so they make a living. So, all the hard work they've done over those years, include, obviously, Century Media are going to cash grab those Stu Block albums soon. Anyway, it's guaranteed they're going to do that. But it's like,
Sure.
They have to do this to survive. If you love the band like we do, and you want the band to survive, you will support this. You will support it. So that's the thing. That's the number 3 is supporting the bands.
Nice.
If you love the band like I do, like Chuck does, you will be excited to give, because your money will be going directly to the band now. That's, for me, that's a great thing. because you are directly going, I love this band, I love what you're doing, take my money. That feels good for me, because now the band
Absolutely.
with these re-recordings, the band is getting what they deserve. They are getting the rewards of what they deserve after all the hard work that John's put into building this band over 30 years, and they deserve it. They deserve it more than a lot of the bigger bands. They deserve it more than Metallica, in my opinion.
I'll be bringing him up later.
But yeah, so that's my number 3, supporting the bands.
My number 2 is artwork.
Interesting.
We have the very best covers, I think. I don't know how many times I've listened to Dark Saga, and the list goes on, every album, and just sit there and stare at the inside covers. And I mean, our artwork is only getting better. I mean, we've got our latest one has given you 11 arts that could easily be album covers. And wouldn't you like to see Storm Rider, with 9 different pictures? Yes, I would. I would love to see that. I would love to see Set on a horse, or maybe Set falling out of the sky, or Set setting in it. I mean, I love their art. I love looking at it, and I would love more. So, new art is my number 2 reason why.
My number 2 is more tours focused on back catalogue.
Nice. I should have thought of that.
Think about it, man. Like, these bigger bands, aka Metallica, right? Metallica's a really good kind of reference point for what we're talking about. When you go to, I've never seen Metallica live, but I can guarantee you when I do, I won't go to see Metallica to hear the new shit. I'm sorry, I won't. I will want to see Metallica to hear stuff from Kill 'Em All,
First 4,
Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets,
and Justice.
Exactly. That's what I want to hear.
And
I don't. Black Album stuff is good though. I like to hear Sad But True. That'd be cool. But anything after the Black Album for me, I don't care about at all. Don't give a shit about it. So, as much as I love the Incorruptible record, I go to Ice Earth shows mostly to hear the old stuff. To hear stuff of the debut. Burnt Offering, Storm Rider, Something Wicked, Dark Saga. That's. Most people go and see bands for their legacy stuff, which is their old stuff. So, say for example, the band puts out the first album re-recorded. That means they're going to be promoting that re-recording, which means they're going to play a lot of deep cut shit off of that first record. To me, that sounds awesome. And it could be the same.
Life and Death, please.
Yep, Life and Death, yes please. Curse the Sky, fucking double yes please. The tours will have more of a, this is how, it'd be more of a legacy tour where they play just some deep cut old school shit. Stuff from Burnt Offerings, like playing Diary again would be amazing. Bringing Dante's Inferno back would be obviously everyone will love that. Night of the Storm Rider, Mystical End, yes please. I just feel that these re-recordings will just bring just an old school tour with just classics, just a tour of just classic stuff, and I'm excited for that prospect.
Wow, that is a great one. I'm mad at you for thinking about that before me. Okay, my number 1 and last one, and I don't really have a CD here. 30 years. My number 1 point is longevity. I want success. I want the band to be successful. I want them to sell records. I want them to have a merch booth that is successful because I want them to tour more. This is selfish Chuck coming through. I want their next album to sell a lot because I want another one. I don't want John to be thinking, okay, sales aren't what they used to be, tours aren't what they used to be. Is it time to move on? I'm selfish. I want more. I want my band to be the most successful. I've done everything I can to try to promote. I've handed out CDs at shows to anybody who asked about the shirts that I'm wearing, because it's always Iced Earth. I want them to be successful. And I just want people to know that in no way is John trying to erase former members. You know, the what Randall and Abel and McGill and all those old school guys, you know, Gene Greeley have done is so personal and important to me. But and if John had the catalog, I'm sure he would press new stuff himself that wouldn't have to replace those people. In a perfect world, that would be awesome. But I mean, Metallica is one of the few bands out there that have been able to go back and buy their catalog and do their own blackened records. That's why they could do those box sets that nobody else is doing, because they 100% own everything. I wish John did, but he doesn't. So what does he need to do to move forward? He needs to have something to sell. Because he doesn't even, I mean, Incorruptible came out 9 months ago, and he doesn't own it.
Yeah.
So I want him to be successful. I want Luke to stay in the band because I love Luke. I want Jake to not go anywhere because these guys are making money. I want them to tour. I want them to prosper. I want them to sell shirts. So my number one is longevity. I want them to be successful. So I get it. Me and you, one of the first things we talked about when we started talking about is John going to re-record some of this stuff? Is it going to be like a Days of Purgatory 2? Is he going to do some albums? So I seen it coming. And if you think that John is just being a dick, I could list artists. Kiss doesn't own their back catalog. They re-recorded a full album's worth and put it on Sonic Boom so that they could have songs to put to commercials or whatever. Striper doesn't own their back catalog, and they had the same members. They re-recorded it. They're not trying to replace themselves. They just wanted masters. You know? So, I mean, there's Great White. There's other bands that have done this. But he's not trying to erase those people. It's just with the industry and the old contracts that they were in, they don't own it. And very few do. Motley Crue and Metallica are the only two big ones that I could think of that 100% run their records.
And like Metallica in particular, that's because they've got the money to buy out those contracts. They've got the money to buy those copyrights back, to buy the ownership. Like, I looked up James Hetfield's net worth the other day. He's worth $500 million. He's got the money to just go, you know, whatever I can't remember what original record label those Metallica's records were on. Do you?
Megaforce.
Yeah, if Megaforce want $20 million for those records, for the ownership, that's fucking pennies for him. He can just put it down there. Go, cheers, mate. You know what I mean? Like, and before I get to my number one, I just want to bring up something that really bugs me. That people are going to have their opinion. People are going to be worried. People are going to be a bit upset by it. Like you said about maybe erasing members, but this is it, right? This is it. Can regardless of what you think about it, can people please realise this, right? Please support this. Please support physical product, because the way I see it, I'm going to buy these regardless, right? When they come out, I might not like them, but I'm going to say if they bring out like a couple of tracks just as a promotion, yeah, and I go, you know, I'm not liking these, right? Because it could happen. I might not like, they might be sterile, they might be a bit too overproduced, right? So I'm going to buy them. I might not like them, but I'm going to buy them because I want to support the band. I want to make sure my favourite band lives long, yeah?
Right.
And my example will be the Overture of the Wicked EP. Obviously, I bought that on release day when it came out. But I don't like the Something Wicked trilogy re-recording. Some people could argue that I hate it. I don't like it at all. I think it's overproduced and sterile. Tim sounds fine. I just think overall the liberties John done with changing some of the arrangements was a bit bad decision, in my opinion. And that's the thing. I own 4 copies of that EP. Yeah, because I'm a collector. I own 4 copies. two copies separately. No, three copies. Two copies separately and one copy in the box of the Wicked. Now, do I listen to those re-recordings? No. But do I own it? Yes. 4 times. 3 times. That's my point. You can support the band by buying it, which I'm going to do, but you don't have to listen to it. That's my point. Like, please support the band.
Right.
The band need us, fans, more than they ever have at this point in their career. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, they need us, and we need to support them, because if you want another record, like another, original album, like you said, Chuck, if you want a follow up to Incorruptible, they need our support more than ever now. And
I'm not saying that they have to do re-recordings to do a follow up. I'm just saying I 100% get it, and I want them to be successful. I want John to can't wait to not put out an album. I want John to say, you know what, man, that re-recording did great. Let's do another one. Heck yeah, I want that. Do I want everybody successful and happy in my favorite band? I sure do. I hope this is the 5 people that close out shop. So, what's your number one?
My number one is simply Stu Block. I think the guy has proved himself above anyone, that he is the right man for the band, that he's clearly put in 125,000% into this band, and I 100% believe that he is going to do amazing on these re-recordings. And like you said, Chuck, Curion is the perfect example for how he will tackle these older songs. And he crushes it. If there's a reason to be excited, it's Stu Block, man. Like, the guy, he's killing it. He's doing a great job. And like I said on our Dystopia retrospect, like, he is so over with the fans right now, more so than Tim ever was, that I think that, or I want to think that I know, but I haven't heard them yet, so I don't know. But like, I think he's going to do a great job, and I think that should be. I want to hear those old, studio recordings with Stu of the old stuff. I want to hear that. It makes me excited that I'm going to be able to hear that.
Right.
And I'm excited to be in a world. I'm excited to be in a time where I'm fortunate enough to actually hear that from my favourite bands.
I also challenge people.
And quickly, you brought up this, right? This is obviously, like you said, the re-recordings with Matt. Now, I know a lot of people that prefer these over the first 2 albums. What's saying that it won't happen again with these re-recordings with Stu?
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Stu. I think Stu is gonna just kill it, and he's my number one reason to be excited. I just think he's gonna be amazing.
Well, and we've talked about Dante's before. Dante's was a home run for me. I like it actually better than the original. The 3 songs that Matt did from Framing, I prefer all 3 of them with Matt. And Overture of the Wicked, I think, is the worst thing other than the album cover. I love the album cover. Is the worst thing that they've ever done. So, I mean, I just ask people to, if you're dead set that, Dark Saga is my favorite album, I don't want to hear Stu. I get it. I really do. If I'm just saying, give it a chance. That's all I'm saying. And by no means is this the group's opinion. This is just mine. Me and you, I know you are. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
And guess what? I mean, I have this right here. This is the first album signed by all 5 guys. I'm lucky enough that I have got to talk to all of them and have it signed. This is so precious to me, and I don't want any of them to think that that this is irreplaceable. This is history. This is the start of the greatest band ever. And these 5 guys right here, I mean, I wish I had a whole wall-sized poster of that. That's awesome.
And that's so, and that is the thing as well, Chuck, as well. Like, nobody's being forgotten here.
Right.
Those 5 guys, Gene, Randall, John, obviously John, Mike McGill,
and
Abel,
Dave.
David Bell.
Right.
We're going to remember you guys because you're on that first album, and we
Right.
love that first album. I love that first
And
album. It's fantastic.
right. It grows on me more and more every day. But I'm just saying, you know, these are just our opinions, and this is in no way trying to tarnish the legacy, the legends that have strummed guitars and pounded drums. It's moving forward. I wish that John could open a record label called Iced Realm, and I wish he owned every single thing all the way back to the Purgatory demos. But he doesn't. If he could sell this, he would. He doesn't own it. So that's just my opinion. I'm just saying, give it a chance, guys. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. To close this off, I'm just going to end it with one thing. The original albums, those first 3 original albums, self-titled, Storm Rider and Burnt Offerings, they're not going away, guys. They'll always be available to you. They'll always be available, you know. I look over to my left and I've got them. I've got all the albums on vinyl. I've got multiple copies on CD, and they're there if I want to listen to them. You know, they're there. I'm like, oh, I fancy John Gridley today. Storm Rider, boom. You know, oh, I fancy Storm Rider and Stu today, boom. You know, it's just they're not going away, man. You know, and John has said in interviews that key people of those original albums that were key in the that have writing credits will get their royalties. They're not losing out on it. You know, Randall, he has a lot of credits on those first few albums. He's going to get his money. He's going to get his royalties. So people are not going to be forgotten. And as fans, we're never going to forget the original guys, man. Legendary. Like, you know, the solos that Randall done on those first 3 records are fucking amazing.
So anyway, this has actually been fun. This is something that's been talked about in our group, and again, we're not speaking for the group. We're speaking for Chuck and Jason.
Yes,
everybody's got their opinion. You know, we're not representing our group this is just our top 10. We figured it was a controversial. We've been wanting to talk about it, so these are our top 10.
But saying that, you know, I really hope we can persuade some of you to really see. Okay, I hope we've kind of persuaded you to give it a chance, because I feel that this is a wonderful time to be an Iced Earth fan, and I just want more of them. I just want more Iced Earth. So thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for the outpour of support that you've given us for this new series. Comment down below your thoughts, be it negative or positive. You know, just let us know your opinions. Let us know. Maybe do a breakdown of our opinions compared to yours. That's always cool to read, guys. So yeah, thank you for watching.
I think we're going to get a lot of opinions on this one. I think we're going to get a lot of opinions, which is good.
Yeah, it's good. Discussion's healthy for a community. Yeah. So, discuss away in the comments. But please get along. You know that we're all human. We all have our opinions. But please get along, guys. There's no need to be nasty in the comments or anything like that. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Jason.
I've been Chuck.
And you've been watching Disciples of the 10, the only top 10 show, 100% dedicated to Iced Earth. We'll see you next time, guys. Stay safe. See you later.
Metal lives.